After the passing of Adesewa's third child, Adesewa's mother was granted custody of Adesewa's children. It wasn't an easy time for the family. The children were still reeling from the loss of their mother and brother. Their grandma was struggling to care for them while dealing with her own grief. Adesewa's husband Shagun had initially disappeared, too ashamed and overwhelmed to face the situation. But then, out of the blue, he resurfaced, asking for a chance to see his children again. "Please, Mama," Segun begged when he visited Adesewa's mother one morning. "I know I wasn't there for them when they needed me most, but I've changed. I want to be part of their lives." Adesewa's mother eyed him wearily. She had never trusted Shagun completely, especially after the way he had treated Adesewa. "You want to see them now, after all this time?" she asked, her voice tinged with bitterness. "Where were you when they needed you the most, Shagun?" "I made mistakes, Mama," Shagun replied, his eyes lowered in shame. "But I'm their father. They deserve to know me. I've even taken this to court, and the judge said I can spend time with them only if they agree." After much back and forth, Adesewa's mother reluctantly agreed because this matter has been in court and the judge agreed to your plea. "If the children want to spend time with you, I won't stop you and I will not stop them. But let me make one thing clear. If you hurt any of these ones left, Shagun, if you even think of doing anything that will harm their spirits, I will fight you with every breath in my body." Shagun nodded and left, feeling a mix of guilt and hope. After 6 months, Shagun called Adesewa's mother on the phone to let her know he would be coming to pick the children for a week holiday at his place. The day he arrived, the last one who had tested positive to HIV refused to go with him, so she stayed with their grandmother. A week exactly, he brought the 2 other ones, Ayo and Sheon, back to their grandma. Children gave their grandma the gist of all that happened in their father's house. They said, "If it's just for holiday, we will go, but we don't want to live with our dad and his wife. There is something about his wife." Their grandma listened, her heart heavy. She had feared this, but she couldn't stop them from spending time with their father, Shagun. But then came the next summer break. Shagun made arrangements with Adesewa's mother to take the children again for another holiday. The children weren't excited this time, just indifferent. Something in them had already detached from their father. On the day Shagun picked them as usual, the last born refused to go with him. As he arrived home with the children, he sent a message to Adesewa's mother. So you people think you can take my children away from me? Never. This is the last time you will see them. You can keep the one with you. The message left Adesewa's mother heartbroken. She clutched the phone tightly, feeling as though the ground had just disappeared beneath her feet. What have I done? She whispered to herself. I should have never trusted him. The days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Shagun didn't return the children, and he refused to answer any of Adesewa's mother's calls. The house felt empty without the laughter and presence of Ayo and Sheun. Simi, Adesewa's younger sister and closest confidant, could no longer stand by. She remembered her sister's last words to her vividly. The plea that Adesewa had made before she slipped into a coma. Simi, thank you for all your support since I returned with my children. You've been there for me and the children. You have always spent time with the children, taking them out to parks, buying things for them. Please, if anything happens to me, take care of my children. When you become rich, don't forget me. Simi had promised, and now he felt Shagun's actions were threatening her ability to keep that promise. Without telling her mother, she picked up her phone and dialed Shagun's number. When he answered, she didn't waste time. Why are you doing this? Simi demanded. You've already hurt my sister enough. Why are you hurting her children now? Shagun's voice was cold. I'm their father. I have rights to keep them with me. Keep them? The court said holidays only. And now you've shown your true intentions. You want to take them away from us forever. But I'm warning you, Mr. Shagun. The day you sleep and let those children out of your sight, you will never see them again. Mark my words and remember, the blood of my sister Adesewa will cry out for vengeance one day. With that, she hung up the phone, her hands shaking with anger. 6 months later, Simi came across something she didn't expect. A phone number that she had scribbled down the first time she had gone to stay with her father. It was Adeola's number, Shagun's wife. Without hesitation, Simi decided to call her. Hello, is this Mrs. Adeola Eyitomi? She asked when a woman's voice answered. Yes, who is this please? Adeola replied. This is Simi, Sheun and Ayo's aunt. I'd like to know how my niece and nephew are doing. Oh, nice to meet you. My husband Shagun had told me about you, Adeola said, but her tone seemed off. The kids are in the boarding house. You know, we hardly see them. Really? Which schools are they in? Simi asked, her curiosity piqued. Adeola hesitated. Well, I don't know the name of Sheun's school, but Ayos is nearby. Simi was shocked. You don't know the name of the school where your stepdaughter is? How is that possible? I, it's a private school, Adeola stammered. Simi didn't press further, but during the conversation, Adeola accidentally let slip the name of Segun's school. Simi immediately Googled it, found the contact number and called the school. She was able to get a description to the school. The following week, Simi paid a visit to the school. She met with the head of school, Mr. Kunle, and introduced herself. I'm here to see my niece, Segun Eyitomi, Simi explained. I just want to confirm that she is here. Mr. Kunle looked at her curiously. Why don't you call her father? I need to approve your visit. Simi shook her head. No, I don't want him to know I came here. I just need to see Segun, sir. Mr. Kunle studied her for a moment, then pulled up a photograph of Segun from the school system and showed to Simi. Simi's face lit up. Yes, that's her. Thank you so much, sir. Now I know where she is. Mr. Kunle was intrigued by Simi's determination. Why don't you want her father to know you came? How are you related to Segun? Thank you, sir. I'm Segun's maternal aunt. Her mother is no more, and her dad took her and her elder brother away from us. But somehow, I heard she's here, so I decided to find out and see how she's faring. Oh, I'm sorry, said Mr. Kunle. Would you like to see her? Though this is against our policy, but I don't know, my spirit says I should let you see her. Mr. Kunle sent for Segun. Immediately, Segun came into the office. She saw her aunt Simi and jumped into her arms. I miss you, Segun said. Mr. Kunle sent for the house mistress, who is Mr. Kunle's wife. Mr. Kunle and Mrs. Kunle learned more about Segun's situation. The day Segun was dropped off, her father and stepmom haven't come to visit. And this Segun girl is different in the hostel. She smiles to everyone and sees everyone as herself, said Mrs. Kunle. She has so many needs that haven't been met. Even her hostel fees have not been paid for, as she hadn't gone home since she resumed here. Her stepmom had called the school that she will only come home at the end of the session, so during holiday, she stays here. Simi felt her heart for her niece. I will take care of everything, she assured the housemistress. Over the following months, Simi visited regularly, bringing Segun the things she needed and paying for extra lessons. Segun eventually confided in Simi about Ayo's school, and Simi made sure to visit him as well, meeting with his teachers and supporting him without their father Shagun's knowledge. This went on for years. By the time Ayo finished his secondary school and gained admission to the Polytechnic to study computer engineering, it was entirely thanks to Simi and their grandmother's efforts. Their father, Shagun, had only dropped him off on campus, paid all his entrance fees and every necessary fee for the first semester. Segun never knew that Simi and their grandmother had been visiting Ayo. Ayo later completed his OND with excellent grades at 17, but then he found himself stuck at home for 3 years as Shagun refused to fund his HND Higher National Diploma course. During that time, Shagun also finished secondary school but was unable to further her education into the university because their father Shagun's focus remained on supporting Adeola's nursing degree and building her a private clinic. Shehu and Ayo were left in limbo, their futures neglected. Then, one day, Shehu called Simi in tears. "Auntie Simi, do you know what Daddy's wife said today?" "What happened?" Shehu Simi asked, alarmed by the distress in her niece's voice. "This morning, a flower vase fell in the living room. When our stepmom saw it, she screamed at us and said, 'The next person to break any of my vases will pass away just like Larry did.'" Simi's heart sank. Larry is the third child of Adesewa, who passed away just barely 9 months after the first time their father Shagun took them from their maternal people. "I think our stepmom had something to do with his demise," Shagun said, her voice shaky. Simi's mind raced. She had to get the children out of Shagun's house once and for all. Simi felt a chill down her spine as Shagun's word echoed in her mind. "The next person to break any of my vases would die just like Larry." She knew Adeola, their stepmom, was mean, but this was something darker. If there was any truth to Shagun's fears, the children were in more danger than she had ever imagined. That night, Simi stayed up, thinking. She knew that confronting Shagun directly would lead nowhere. He had already proven time that wasn't going to prioritize his children's well-being. And Adiola, his wife, was unpredictable, especially with the unsettling accusation hanging in the air. Simi had to be careful, but she also had to act quickly. The next morning, she called her mother. "Mama, we need to get the children out of their father's house now." Adesewa's mother, who had also grown increasingly worried about her grandchildren, agreed. "I've been praying every day for a way to bring them here, Simi. But how?" "I've been paying for their education all these years behind Shagun's back. He didn't even care how Ayo went through his OND days, how she went through secondary school as the school pulled up its debt for him. I think We need to take legal actions, Simi replied. We need to fight for full custody. Shagun is not fit to raise them, and his wife is dangerous. Adesewa's mother sighed deeply. Do you think the courts will listen? Though, after all, Shagun is still their father. Simi was quiet for a moment. I don't know, Mama, but we can't sit back and do nothing. I will start by gathering evidence. Everything I've done for Ayo and Shio, everything Shagun, their father, hasn't done. Maybe the courts will see who really cares for these children. Simi knew it would be a long and difficult battle, but she was ready for it. Over the next few months, she worked tirelessly, compiling records of all the support she had provided for her niece and nephew. Meanwhile, Sheo and Ayo continued to live in Shagun's house, but they were growing more withdrawn. The once cheerful, hopeful teenagers were now quiet, wary of speaking up, afraid of triggering their stepmom's temper. Sheo had called Simi to talk about their stepmom's new behavior. Simi's heart raced. Listen to me, Sheo. You and Ayo need to stay strong, okay? Don't let your stepmom scare you. I'm working on something, and soon you will be out of there. Just hold on a little longer. But Sheon's voice trembled. I'm scared, Auntie. What if something happens before then? Simi clenched her fist. Nothing will happen, I promise you. Just keep your head down for now. I will get you out of there soon. The next few weeks were a blur of court filings and consultations with lawyers. Simi's case was strong. She had proof of financial neglect and could argue that the children's emotional and physical well-being was at risk, but the legal process was slow, agonizingly slow. Every day that passed felt a ticking time bomb. The hearing was set for the following week. It was the longest 7 days of Simi's life, filled with anxiety and sleepless nights. On the day of the hearing, Adesewa's mother, Simi, and Bolu, Adesewa's last child, sat in the courtroom, their fates in the hands of a judge who would determine whether Shagun's custody would be revoked. Shagun, Adeola, with Sheu and Ayo, arrived the courtroom. Shagun and Adeola, his wife, who looked as composed as ever, though her eyes were cold as they met Simi's across the courtroom. She knew this was a fight and she wasn't backing down. As the hearing began, Simi's lawyer presented the evidence: years of neglect, emotional manipulation, and financial abandonment. Testimonies from teachers, school staff, and even Shehu and Ayo themselves painted a clear picture of the toxic environment they had been living in. When it was Shagun's turn to speak, his defense was weak. He tried to argue that he had provided for his children, but the facts didn't align with his words. Even the judge seemed unimpressed by his lack of accountability. Finally, After hours of deliberation, the judge made his ruling. I am granting full custody of the children to their grandmother with guardianship support from Miss Simi. The judge declared, Mr. Segun will retain visitation rights, but only under supervised conditions. Tears of relief streamed down Seun's face as the ruling was read. Ayo squeezed Simi's hand, his eyes filled with gratitude. They were free, free from the years of neglect and emotional torment. Outside the courtroom, Simi hugged her nieces and nephew tightly. You're safe now, she whispered. You're coming home. As they walked out of the courthouse, a new chapter began for Ayo and Seun. A chapter filled with hope, healing, and the promise of a better future. And as they left the courthouse steps, Simi couldn't help but remember Adesewa's last words to her. Take care of my children. She had kept that promise, and now, finally, Adesewa's children were truly home. This was how Simi's promise to her dying sister defied betrayal and reclaimed the future of the children. Simi was able to get Ayo back to school for his HND that same year, as the school form was just about to close. And Shehu also sat for a university entrance exam, JAMB, the following year and gained admission. 2 years after, Ayo graduated at 24 after wasting 5 years at home with his father. He finally went for 1 year service, and few months after his service, he got a job. Shehu also gained admission to study library and information science. At 19, she wasted 4 years at home as a result of their father's neglect. The last one, Bolu, who tested positive to HIV, is doing excellently well and academically. She's undergraduate, and health-wise, she's doing very well, with her health appreciating on a daily basis. Adesewa's mother also is doing well, seeing her grandchildren around her, all healthy and doing well for themselves. The morals I picked from the story: the power of family bonds. Family is a powerful force that can support, provide strength, and protection. Resilience in the face of adversity. Life often presents us with different challenges, but resilience and determination can help overcome obstacles. Despite the injustice and struggles faced by Ayo and Shehu, they eventually find a path forward thanks to Simi's persistence and support. Courage to confront injustice. Simi's courage to confront Shagun and take actions for her niece and nephew shows that standing up against injustice is crucial, even when it means facing difficult or uncomfortable situations. The importance of education, as the story underscores the value of education and how denying children access to education limits their future opportunities. Promises and loyalty. Simi's promise to Adesewa made in her final days is a reminder of the importance of keeping promise to those we love. Our unwavering loyalty to her sister's memory leads to the ultimate protection and success of her children. Justice will prevail. The story also reminds us that while injustice may seem to triumph temporarily, perseverance and moral action will eventually lead to justice and vindication for the then dead. Watch out for the concluding part of Adesewa's story, how Shagun ended. Thank you for watching my story. Please share with me what you enjoyed in the story and what you learned from the story. This is African Tales by Ewa. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, like, and share with your loved ones. I appreciate your time spent on my channel. I do not take your support for granted until I come your way with another interesting and educating story. Bye for now.